Hello and welcome to this special episode of the CIH Podcast. For this episode, you'll hear me coming live from the Housing Community Summit, which is the collaborative event between the Chartered Institute of Housing and the National Housing Federation. My name is Emma Elston. I'm the Content Marketing Manager at CIH, and I'm the usual producer of the CIH Podcast behind the scenes. So this long asked for event by the sector for the sector returns for a second year, and we were in Liverpool earlier this week at the Exhibition Centre to hear from delegates about what they'd learnt from being here. In this episode, you will hear from 4 different delegates at the event who answered a few of our questions on different topics they were looking for, what they've enjoyed most about being at the event, and a few fun questions to find out what exactly they got up to at the event. So first up, we have James from the Great Places Housing Group. So we're going to find out exactly what he thinks of the Housing Community Summit.
So is this your first time attending?
No, it's actually my second time attending. I was a future leader last year and I'm a speaker this year.
Amazing. What topics were you hoping to learn about this time and have you found them?
Nothing in particular, but there's obviously a lot going on in the sector. Because I work in EDI, it was more just trying to understand the implications of how the changes happening within the sector are going to impact the EDI.
Perfect. So what has been your biggest takeaway and what do you think others in your organisation will be most interested to hear about when you get back?
Biggest takeaway is that we are certainly not the only ones that are trying to get to know our customers and tailor services to meet their needs. And the thing that I'm taking back with me to my organisation is that we clearly need to be networking better.
Amazing. And if one of our listeners missed out on this year's event, what would you tell them to convince them to book earlier for next year?
Where to start? The atmosphere is always incredible. It's always got lots of positive people around, always happy to have a conversation. If you're into networking, it's the best place to do it. So many insightful sessions. There's always value you can get out of it, whichever day you come. There's always good opportunities for drinks as well.
And finally, just a few fun quick-fire questions that we're asking everyone. Just give me your first instinct answers. Do you prefer the practical day-to-day topics or the more strategic sessions?
I'm definitely more a strategic guy.
Grabbing a coffee during a break or grabbing a chance to network?
I never shut up, so networking's for me.
And finally, getting an early night or attending the fundraising event?
As per last question, fundraising event.
Perfect. Thank you very much.
And next up, we speak to Evie, who is the new Vice President for CIH as of October. She was nominated earlier this summer. So let's hear what she thinks of HCS.
So I am here with Evie. Is this your first time attending HCS?
This is my second time attending. I was really delighted to be part of the inaugural event last year.
Amazing. And what topics were you hoping to learn about and what did you find them?
I think the quality of the sessions that were on the house management stage particularly, that's my bread and butter, so that's where I was really hoping to get some insight from. And I think particularly coming from the Scottish perspective, one of the sessions I was really interested in was yesterday afternoon's session on I'm a housing manager, what does fire safety matter to me? So just seeing some different perspectives around the room and the rules that are slightly different in England compared to Scotland, and actually to help us be as safe as we possibly can was really useful.
Amazing. What has been your biggest takeaway and what do you think others will want to learn once you get back to the office?
I think probably more than anything it's the space for networking. I think the kind of central CIH stand has provided lots of room for people to pass by, chance conversations, but also for suppliers to kind of know where you are, to seek you out and, get some things moving.
And if one of our listeners missed out on this year's event, what would you tell them to convince them to come and book early for next year?
I think, providing you've got your membership and you're ready to rock, this is the place that you're going to meet all the faces that you see online, all the people that you really want to talk to. It's all under one roof. It's 2 days of fantastic sessions with lots of contacts that you can make to take back to the ranch. And, for whatever persuasion of housing that you're looking to do, there's lots to learn.
Perfect. And finally, just a few fun quick-fire questions that we're asking everyone. Just give me your first instinct answers. So do you prefer practical day-to-day topics or the more strategic sessions?
Or practical day-to-day, I would say.
That sounded like a hard decision. Grabbing a coffee during a break or grabbing the chance to network?
Grabbing the chance to network.
And finally, getting an early night or attending a fundraising event?
Bit of both, but knowing how to perform the swift exit.
Well done. Thank you very much.
We're getting some great answers here and some real insight into what is available at the Housing Community Summit each year. Next, we hear from Tom, who is from Homes England, on what he thinks as an exhibitor at the event.
Is this your first time attending?
No, this is my second time attending.
What topics were you hoping to learn about and did you find them?
I'm keen to talk to partners to understand how they are responding to the 39 billion affordable homes programme that was announced, and I've had lots of conversations and learnt lots about that from the sessions that I've been on.
And have you been to Housing in Focus sessions or just Housing in Practice?
I've been to Housing in Focus sessions as well.
So what has been your biggest takeaway from each Housing in Practice and Housing in Focus? And what will you look forward to telling other people when you get back about or other people you're speaking to today?
I think there's a mixture of optimism and a degree of hesitation following the political changes last week, which is understandable. I think at the same time the sector has got a degree of stability and confidence that once that noise has settled down, people get back to looking at the future. There were some really interesting discussions about innovative funding models with pension funds and how to bring more of those into the sector, which was great. Really good examples from sustainable development, focusing on Sheffield City Centre, which has been brilliant, and Homes England have been actively involved in that one. So yeah, lots of inspirational stuff.
Perfect. And finally, just a few fun quick-fire questions we're asking everyone. First instinct answers, practical day-to-day topics or the more strategic sessions?
Strategic.
Grabbing a coffee during a break or grabbing the chance to network?
Preferably both, but networking.
And finally, getting an early night or attending the fundraising event?
Last night was an early night. Next time might be a fundraising event.
And last but certainly not least, we hear from Mark from the Housing Ombudsman Service. Again, another exhibitor at the event, a speaker and a delegate. So over to Mark.
So is this your first time attending?
No, we came last year as well.
Amazing. What topics were you hoping to learn about and did you find them?
So I think it's just an event that we come to learn more just about generally how the whole sector's feeling about different issues as they develop. So I think I have been able to get a sense about how the sector is feeling on those issues.
Amazing. And what has been your biggest takeaway and what do you think, going back to your organisation, what will people most like to hear about?
I think the biggest takeaway I've got is that everyone in the sector is moving in the same direction and there's a real kind of desire for collaboration and further kind of events like this. And I think what I'll be taking back to the organisation is just that we're all one. We've got one shared goal at the end, and actually we can kind of use that positively as we kind of engage and speak to other landlords in the future.
And if one of our listeners missed out on this year's event, what would you tell them to convince them to make sure they book early for next year?
I'd just say that there is no other event that's like this where you can have the conversations that you have here. So I think, there's it's a no-brainer to come here because you can't get this experience anywhere else.
Amazing. And finally, just a few fun quick-fire questions that we're asking everyone today. Give me your first instinct answers. Do you prefer the practical day-to-day topics or the more strategic sessions?
Practical day-to-day.
And then grabbing a coffee during the break or grabbing a chance to network?
Grabbing a chance to network.
And finally, getting an early night or attending the fundraising event?
Politically, no, attending the fundraising event.
Amazing. Thank you very much.
So much.
And that's a wrap on another Housing Community Summit. Our third Housing Community Summit does return next year on the 8th and 9th of September. I just want to say a big thank you to Evie, James, Tom and Mark who took the time to speak to me after I cornered them in the exhibition area of the Housing in Practice at this year's event. They gave me some really honest answers and hopefully some insightful things to help you know what the Housing Community Summit is about. We'll be back with another CIH podcast in a few weeks' time. You can catch those on our YouTube channel or watch out for new episodes on our website. That's also where you'll find all our past episodes as well if you want to catch back up on all the different topics that we talk about here on the CIH podcast. I have a range of hosts and speakers throughout the year with a range of different topics, depending on what you're interested in. A big thank you to all my guests for today's podcast, and we look forward to seeing you at next year's Housing Community Summit.